Welcome po sa lahat. Third LS Mone Channel. Pasasalamat sa lahat ng suporta sa ating nagpupunta. Welcome po sa lahat. Gusto namin pahalagahan na lahat ng pagkakanaririnig sa rin. Welcome po sa lahat. Welcome sa lahat. Bilang mone. So, isa pa lang yun nandiyan. So, ayun po. Mamaya pupunta lahat. Alas, sumaya. Yun sila. Yan na si Bad sa live. Bad sa live. Welcome, Bad sa live. Salamat sa pagpunta. Bad sa live. Sabi ni What's Life, nasa harang pa, boss. Ilang, lamat. What's Life, harang, paglalaro ng harang. So, nung nakarang mag-LS, maliwanag yung paano makakakuha ng tunay na kaibigan. No, tutulong tayo ron kahit pa paano. Ipanonood akong video sa inyo tungkol naman sa ano ni David. Karanasan ni David ng Bible. Yung kanyang faith. Mamaya. Share ko sa inyo. Nandiyan na rin si Created Mindset channel. Ingay. Ano ba nilalagyan nila ng bula-bula? Ano yun? Share screen. Hindi. Sabi ni creative mindset. Boss, nasa na ibang tropa natin. Pa eh. Either na nasa ibang bahay. Tulog na. O busy-busy na. Ganun talaga. Yun. So, mag-share ako ng isang video sa inyo.
Do you know one of the reasons why we have the hope of everlasting life in a paradise earth? A young boy who trusted in God was a key to our hope. His name was David. He was a shepherd in ancient Bible times. He had to be brave and courageous in order to protect his sheep. Once, David had to fight with a wild bear. Even though he was only a lad, he always trusted in God.
Yan na rin si Inspired Music Channel. Welcome. Inspired Music Channel. Salamat sa pagdalaw. Sa live stream. Enjoy lang sa ating
About 1,000 years before Christ,
palabas. Tungkol kay
during the reign of King Saul, village life was very simple. Saul was disobedient to God and lacked faith. Jehovah God could no longer trust him. Therefore, he sent his prophet Samuel to choose a better king. This was a dangerous assignment. Why was that? If Saul found out, he would kill Samuel. Jehovah told Samuel to take along a cow, so that it would look as if he were visiting just to offer a sacrifice. This would conceal from Saul the real reason for his visit. Samuel finally arrived at Jesse's house in Bethlehem. Now, Jesse had 8 sons. When Samuel saw the eldest son, Eliab, who was tall and impressive, he thought, surely this is the one I should choose. But Jehovah warned Samuel, do not be fooled by appearances. I see the real man on the inside. Samuel went looking at 6 more of Jesse's sons. But Jehovah did not choose Abinadab, nor Shammah, nor any of the others. Well, asked Samuel, are these all the boys? Jesse said that there was only the youngest son, David, who was out caring for the sheep. Bring him in, Samuel said. Would Jehovah really choose him? His brothers did not think so. When David walked in, Samuel saw a handsome youth who had beautiful eyes, but was still a mere boy. To everyone's surprise, Jehovah said to Samuel, this is the one who will put his trust in me. Anoint him to be the next king. From then on, Jehovah's Spirit was with David. Meanwhile, in the king's palace, the servants were trying to please irritable King Saul. Wicked King Saul realized that God had rejected him. This made him have terrifying moods. His servants walked in fear and dread of him. What could be done to make Saul feel better? He needed something to calm his nerves. A court official recommended soothing music played on a harp. A skilled harpist was called. Who did it turn out to be? None other than David. Saul came to love David because his music made him feel better. Eventually, Saul went to war against the Philistines, longtime enemies of Israel who hated Jehovah God. The Israelite army camped in the valley of Elah. They lined up for battle on a mountain on one side, while the Philistines defiantly waited on the other side. The Philistines sent their champion warrior to challenge or taunt Israel. He was a fearsome giant, over 9 feet tall. His name was Goliath. For 40 days, morning and
Salamat
evening,
sa 89
Goliath
channel.
shouted out,
Kasi nasa
I
akin.
taunt the battle lines of Israel. Give me a man and let us fight. Saul and his troops were scared. Nobody wanted to face Goliath. David had brought food to his brothers at the battlefront. He was shocked that no one would face this evil giant who was insulting God. But what could young David do? He boldly offered to fight Goliath. Saul heard about young David's offer and called him in. Putting his trust in God, David said, Don't be afraid. I will fight this Philistine. Saul exclaimed, You're too young to face this veteran warrior. David said, God has protected me in the past. He will save me now from this Philistine. Goliath must die, for he has taunted the living God, Jehovah. So what did David use as weapons? His shepherd's staff, 5 smooth stones, and his trusty sling. That is all. The giant could hardly believe his eyes. Who was this boy coming out to face him? Am I a dog that you come to me with a staff? Just come over here, and I'll feed you to the birds and the beasts. David answered, You are coming to me with a sword, a spear, and a javelin. I am coming to you with the name of Jehovah. The Philistines panicked and fled. The God of Israel had triumphed at the hand of a mere shepherd boy. Jonathan, Saul's son, had heard about the battle. He was impressed by David's victory over Goliath. Instead of being jealous, he admired him. They became the very best of friends. Jonathan promised to support David to the end. Sometime after David defeated Goliath, Saul put David in charge of the men of war. As time went on, David proved that he was a better soldier than Saul. Women flocked to see Saul and David when they came back from battle. They greeted them with song and dance, crying out, Saul has struck down his thousands, and David his tens of thousands. Saul was furious at such a comparison. He got jealous and angry and began to turn against David. He did not trust him. So Saul began to scheme to have David killed. Saul had a beautiful daughter called Michal.
Oh my God.
Although Saul did not know it, she was in love with David. Saul's servants realized that she wanted to marry him. When Saul found out about Michal's affection for David, he at last saw his chance to do away with him. Through his servants, Saul made David an offer. He would let David marry Michal if he would kill 100 Philistines.
Okay.
Saul hoped that the Philistines would kill David instead. David took up the challenge, and with his few men, he went out and killed not 100, but 200 of the Philistines. Saul's trick failed, and he was forced to give Michal to David. It was clear that Jehovah was supporting David. This made Saul very afraid. From now on, he would be David's worst enemy. However, Saul still needed David's soothing music. But not for long. Saul's hatred became very clear. David fled to his home. Michal warned him, "If you don't run away tonight, tomorrow you'll be dead." David and his small band of men headed for the wilderness to hide. Saul and his army went after David. David was forced to flee deeper and deeper into the wilderness. What unknown dangers lay ahead? Saul looked everywhere, but he couldn't find David. But he was determined to destroy him. Jonathan, risking everything, went searching for David. He hoped to encourage him. Finding him was no easy task. Jonathan assured David, "Don't be afraid. My father won't find you. You will be king over Israel, and I will be second to you." They promised to be loyal to each other. However, this was the last time that they would be together. In time, Saul found out where David was hiding. With 3,000 of his best men, he closed in on David. However, David's spies told him where Saul was camped. So David crept up on him at night with his bold nephew Abishai. All the guards had fallen asleep. David found Saul sleeping soundly in the middle of the camp. Abishai, eager to kill Saul, whispered to David, "Let me please pin him to the earth with a spear. Once will be enough." David said, "No, I would never think of harming Jehovah's anointed king. Instead, let's take his spear and water jug and then get out of here." From the nearby mountaintop, David called out to the chief of Saul's bodyguard, "Why didn't you watch over your lord the king? Someone could have killed him. Look, I have the king's spear and water jug." Then he said to Saul, "I could have killed you, but I didn't. I trust Jehovah to respect my life and protect me from all my enemies." Saul replied, "You will be blessed, David. Without a doubt, you will be the winner." With that, David left, and Saul returned home. The Israelites continued their war with the Philistines, but this time things did not go well. At Mount Gilboa, the Philistines closed in on Saul. They killed 3 of his sons. Among these was Jonathan, David's most trusted friend. Then the archers found Saul. He fell severely wounded. Rather than be executed by his enemies, he fell upon his own sword and killed himself. David, who had been loyal to Jehovah's king, was so heartbroken that he ripped apart his clothing. He and his men began to weep, wail, and fast. He also composed a funeral song. "I am deeply distressed. Saul and Jonathan have died together. My brother Jonathan, you were my closest and most trusted friend." Years later, God's promise came true when David, who had trusted in Jehovah, was crowned as king over all Israel. David later built his palace in Jerusalem, which came to be called the City of David. He loved Jehovah's worship so much that he had the Ark of the Covenant brought to Jerusalem. The Ark was a sacred chest covered in gold and used in worship of Jehovah. It had been kept outside the city. Eventually, after checking Jehovah's instructions carefully, the Levite priests carried the covered ark on their shoulders with rods. With music and rejoicing, they brought the ark to a tent in Jerusalem. It was a great and happy day for David and for Israel. Skipping about, David was filled with joy. Jehovah's worship was being given first place. David was happy and secure in his royal palace, but he realized that the ark of the true God was in a simple tent. David wanted to build a beautiful temple for Jehovah. Would Jehovah allow that? Nathan the prophet was sent by Jehovah to tell David his decision. However, to David's surprise, Nathan told him that as a man of war, he would not build the temple. That privilege would go to a future son. David was clearly disappointed. Jehovah made a new promise to David, namely that the kingship would not be removed from his family. Eventually, one of his descendants would rule forever over all the earth. That one would be the best king the world had ever known. Sometime later, David entered into perhaps the saddest part of his life. He was a good king who made serious mistakes. He watched Bathsheba, another man's wife, bathing.
Salamat po sa
He
mga
desired
nakabigi
her,
dyan.
sent for her, and took her
Mga
to his
nakabigi
bed.
dyan.
Then he had Bathsheba's husband killed in battle. Jehovah sent Nathan to David to tell him how badly he had sinned. Because of the kingdom promise, he would not lose his life, but Jehovah would punish him severely. David showed that he was very sorry for what he had done. With tears, he wrote in Psalm 51, "Show me favor, O God, according to your loving kindness. Against you I have sinned, and what is bad in your eyes I have done." Jehovah forgave David for his serious sins. Overall, David proved to be a good and faithful king. His rule brought peace and prosperity to the land of Israel. Toward the end of his life, David reminded his son Solomon, who was to be the next king, of the valuable lessons he had learned in life. Trust in Jehovah even when the challenges seem too great to overcome. Be strong and trust in Jehovah, even if you have to wait for God's promises to be fulfilled. Walk in God's ways and admit your mistakes. Never stop serving the true God and trusting in Him. Remember that the everlasting kingdom that Jehovah has promised will come through our family line. God's kingdom promise to David started to come true when Solomon became the next king of Israel. This promise eventually led to the anointing of Jesus Christ as king. Jesus, now ruling from the heavens, is the rightful ruler over all the earth. If you want to be blessed like David, keep on serving Jehovah faithfully. Then you will receive everlasting life with David and Jonathan in God's new world. You too will be rewarded for your trust in God.
Maraming salamat, maraming salamat. Wala tayong natutunan doon. Kay David. Sige. Ang galing ka to kayo. Okay. Watching lang si Creative Mindset. Salamat. Mga naka-BG lang dyan. Nice video host, sabi ni Scar Music Channel. Check pa tayo kung ano ba. Meron pa mga video niya. Minutes yan. Tingin tayo ng mas mahaba. Kanina si David, ngayon naman si Noah. 4 minutes. 30 seconds. Yan, si ano naman yan, si Noah.
Do you know why all of us are alive today? It is thanks to a faithful man who walked with God a long time ago. His name was Noah. The Bible, in Genesis chapter 6, tells us that many years ago, about 600 years after the first man, Adam, died, some angels looked down from heaven upon the earth and noticed the woman. They saw that they were very pretty. Those angels began to have bad thoughts. They left heaven and became like men so that they could marry the women. This was unnatural and very wrong.
Welcome,
The
Jay
women then
Porogala,
had babies who grew up to be giant
sa pagdalaw,
bullies called
bigyan kita
Nephilim.
ng jacket. Salamat sa pagdalaw.
These bullies beat up people.
Minsan nakakadap
Many
pupunta ako
men
sa
copied their bad example.
Nakikita ko yung mga salamat sa pagdalaw. Sa Boracay ka eh.
Doubtless, even children became bullies.
Salamat sa pagdalaw.
People in that violent world
Bugo.
ignored the suffering around them.
Ano nito ni Boy Gala eh.
They were
Boracay
enjoying
Gala
life,
Boy eh.
marrying, eating, and
Kanyang
drinking.
pinapunta niya rito yung kanyang alagad eh.
They were buying and selling and did not care about God.
Anong oras LS mo, Boy Gala?
Violence was everywhere.
Bora Gala.
Innocent people were being attacked. Now, what did Jehovah God think about that wicked world? He saw that the badness of men was everywhere, and that what they thought about was only bad all the time.
Baka nang ano mo, ng bahay mo.
Jehovah felt hurt.
Mamaya,
Men were
didikit
wicked.
sa'yo mamaya.
What
Knowledge,
did
power,
God decide
vlog.
to do about
Salamat
it?
sa pagdalaw.
He said, I am going to wipe mankind from the face of the earth.
Kanina pahinga ka. Maga ako bro, kaso ngayon nagpahinga muna ako. Ganun ba? Hindi pahinga eh.
Did this mean that nobody would be left on the earth? No. The Bible tells us that during this time of violence, at least one man obeyed God. Noah.
Ano mo na rin yung palabas.
This God-fearing man and his wife had 3 sons.
Noah.
Probably the firstborn was Japheth.
Noah yan, kay Noah.
The next son was Shem. Ham was the youngest.
Thank you, Knowledge Power. Nice video. I enjoy watching.
These obedient sons and their faithful wives would be a great help to Noah in a special task that God would soon give him to do.
Yan yung ilang mga natin dyan, rubber cuts din natin. Baka hindi pa kayo magkatikitan yung mga yan. At least makailang ka rin. Di sayang yung pagpunta mo rito.
Why did Jehovah favor Noah? What made him special? Noah was a faithful man who walked with God by serving him from day to day. He was different from the rest of mankind. He obeyed God. How would Jehovah destroy that wicked world? He said, I am going to cause a huge flood to cleanse the earth. The water will be so deep that everything will drown. But what about the birds and the animals? And what about faithful Noah and his family? Jehovah gave Noah special instructions on how to build a life-saving ark. What would it look like? It would look like a huge oblong box. It would be long and narrow, with a flat bottom and square ends. They had to clear a large area in order to measure out the ground plan for this huge ark. Can you imagine how big it would be? It would be over 400 feet long, much longer than a football field, about 70 feet wide, and as high as a 4-story house.
4-story house pala yun, eh?
Noah probably built it near a forest where wood was easy to get. How would Noah and his family, only 8 persons, build such a massive vessel? It was something they had never done before. With God's help, they were able to build the ark. Besides doing this work, they had another important task to do. They had to warn their neighbors about the coming flood. Can you imagine how those people might have reacted to their preaching? They probably said, "You fools! Why are you building this huge box here? You're wasting your time. Our world is not going to end." They ignored Noah's warning and just continued in their normal daily routine. But Noah listened to God, not to his neighbors. It took him and his family a long time to build the ark. For over 40 years, they obediently worked hard at it.
Years. Gagawa nila yun.
At long last, the ark was completed. They had made it waterproof. For light and fresh air, they had put a window opening all around. They also made a large door in its side. In preparation for their long stay in the ark, Noah and his family had to prepare fruits, grains, and other foods. They had to store water to sustain themselves and many kinds of animals and birds. But they were not yet finished. They now had to face another challenge, an urgent job. Genesis chapter 7 tells us that Noah and his family started to lead all the different kinds of animals into the ark. They only had a short time to do it. Why? Because God said, "In just 7 days more, I am making it rain upon the earth for 40 days and 40 nights. The whole earth will be flooded. Therefore, take into the ark 7 each of the clean animals to be used in my worship. Of the other kinds, take 2 each. Jehovah must have helped Noah to direct the many kinds of animals that had to be led into the ark.
Nawala tayo. Isa na. Pindot. Welcome, welcome. Oh, may binababa si Nightbot. Pwede natin ano yan. Digitan natin yung mga yan. Time check, 11:09 p.m. And we are now 1:06.48 live streaming. Oo, nawala yung video. May napindot lang. Wala yung video. Sayang. Pero hanapin pa natin. Hanapin natin yung video. Huwag pa naman kinok eh. Music tayo. Take natin yung music.
What are the things that I value? The things that mean the most to me. What are the things that will help me to be the person I want to be? With each new day there are choices to be made. Sometimes the choice will need to be a trade. The time I have can never be replaced. The steps I take can never be retraced. That's why I want to choose carefully and choose what really means the most to me. How will I honor Jehovah, one who means the most to me? I'll give the best I can offer to him, and he deserves the best I can be.
Opo.
can paint a thousand pictures the way that we stay. We can often make a difference with a kindly word or deed, but sometimes just a smile is all we really need. Just a smile can lift a weary heart. Just a smile can help us make a start. When you've done your best, praying you'll succeed, then you will see a smile is what we need. This world is unforgiving, full of coldness and despair. Many hopes are disappointed by a world that doesn't care. And we see it in their faces as they pass us on the street. So we offer hope and comfort to the people that we meet. Just a smile can lift a weary heart. Just a smile can help us make a start. When you've done your best, praying you'll succeed, then you will see a smile is what we need. At times we feel downhearted when no one seems to care about the hope we offer or the message that we bear. For some hearts are just too hardened to receive the kingdom seed. But could it be a friendly smile is what they really need? Just a smile can lift a weary heart. Just a smile can help us make a start. When you've done your best, praying you'll succeed, then you will see a smile is what we need.
When the rain comes, when the ground beneath you starts to slip away, God is always near, and He cares for you. You're not alone. Your friends are here. We'll help you find your way. We won't forget you. We are your family. We won't ignore you. We will not fail to see. We'll take your hand. We'll help you stand.
welcome again, What's Alive, nagbabalik, boss.
We won't forget you. We are your family. When the storm's gone, when the day breaks, when our love surrounds you like a warm embrace, then you come to know that it's really so. Love is a bond, a perfect bond that time will not erase. We won't forget you. We are your family. We won't ignore you. We will not fail to see. We'll take your hand. We'll help you stand. We'll help you carry on. We won't forget you. We are a worldwide family. We won't forget you. We are your family.
Everything's fine, but I'm wondering, who will I marry? What I'm doing right now is deciding not to hurry. This is a choice that could either bring laughter or sorrow. And the feelings that start in a youthful heart, they could be gone tomorrow. Take your time, patience is the key. Just wait and see. Use your head, though your heart may not agree, and think, is this the one for me? Possibly, if you just take your time.
Just take your time
and choose wisely.
Well, I wanted someone who would care for me, and he made me feel special. But I knew in my heart this can never be successful. I want to make sure it's Jehovah's way. Let his word guide me. And I'm willing to wait just to have a mate living the truth beside me. Take your time. Patience is the key. Just wait and see. Use your head, though your heart may not agree, and think, is this the one for me?
just take your time and choose wisely. And choose wisely.
Welcome sa Yana Park. Welcome sa Yana Park. Bigyan kita ng jacket, pwede ka magbaba ng
You can hear the songbirds singing, and you watch the clouds roll by. Then you're walking in the valley.
Welcome to my little channel.
As the sun shines in a clear blue sky, you're welcoming your loved ones, and you can't believe your eyes.
Salamat sa pagtamsak
Yes,
mo.
this earthly paradise was just around the corner. There's a house down in the valley and a house high on the hill. There is singing by the river as the water flows and turns the mill. The golden fields are waiting, let the harvesting begin. Once the world we're living in was just around the corner. It's great to share with friends who care the things that we looked forward to. Now every tear has disappeared. The world is young and life
Ario,
is
Filipina,
the
Sayana
sound
Park.
of happy voices and the scent of
Welcome to my channel.
Now you're calling to your loved ones.
You can drop your link
as
or
we
your
start another perfect day. Then we thank our God Jehovah for his tender loving care. Yes, the blessings we all share were just around the corner. And every day smile and say how good to see your happy face. 'Cause once it seemed I only dreamed that you'd be in my warm embrace. Waiting round the corner is a world I long to see. It's a promise from Jehovah, it's a guaranteed reality. And it's hard to get downhearted when I think of what's in store. It's the day I'm waiting for, and it's just around the corner.
Father, for me, the time has now come, fulfilling the words that were said by your Son. If they persecuted me, then they'll do it to you. It's not a surprise, really nothing that's new. Jehovah, I pray, please let me be strong. My life and devotion to you, they belong. My record of faith will never be lost. I'll be loyal to you, no matter the cost. I'll never give in to taunts or to threats. Enduring in faith, I'll have no regrets. To suffer these things for the sake of your name, I count as an honor. I won't be ashamed. I won't give up, won't turn aside. I won't give up, and I won't run and hide. Let me be strong, let me be true, carrying on, trusting in you. I won't give up. You've trusted in me, I've trusted in you. Each trial I face, you help me get through. No king and no ruler, no family or friend can make me lose sight of the prize at the end. I won't give up, won't turn aside. I won't give up, and I won't run and hide. Let me be strong, let me be true, carrying on, trusting in you. I won't give up, won't turn aside. I won't give up, and I won't run and hide. Let me be strong, let me be true, carrying on, trusting in you. I won't give up.
Kinanta natin, never give up. Two friends.
Life can be hard if we walk it alone, living in these last days. Jehovah knows that we need friends to help us along the way. But where do we go? Where do we turn to find those true companions? Well, remember what we learned in His Word. True friends love you when you're down, happy when you're up, right by your side when trials come. Speak up if you're wrong, commend you when you're right, keep you on track in the race for life, help you keep Jehovah first right to the end. Now that's a true friend. A true friend shows love at all times, That's in His Word we know. So if troubles appear, don't give in or fight. Say a prayer, let it go. Whether we're older or whether we're young, we all gotta stick together. And one day soon we'll be in paradise. True friends love you when you're down, happy when you're up, right by your side when trials come. Speak up if you're wrong, commend you when you're right, keep you on track in the race for life, help you keep Jehovah first right to the end. Yeah, that's a true friend. Someone you trust, someone who cares about you, serving Jehovah. A shoulder to lean on, and the right words to help you, man. Yeah, that's a true friend. True friends love you when you're down, happy when you're up, right by your side when trials come. Speak up if you're wrong, commend you when you're right, keep you on track in the race for life, help you keep Jehovah first right to the end. True friends love you when you're down, happy when you're up, right by your side when trials come. Speak up if you're wrong, commend you when you're right, keep you on track in the race for life, help you keep Jehovah first right to the end. And that's a true friend. That's a true friend. Oh, that's a true friend.
Time and circumstance don't always work in our favor. What might have been if we just had the chance is something we may never know. But God looks down and sees. He knows us better than we do. He sees what we are and what more we could be. It's all in the way that we go. He values all of us, no matter what talent or gift we possess. He wants each one of us to be as caring as He is. So you're my friend, 'cause you're always there through our ups and downs and through all we've shared. And I'm there when you need someone and things are hard to bear. I'll be the friend you need. You can count on me. We weep with those who weep, sharing that we're feeling. But sometimes our tears may be all that can speak, expressing what words cannot say. Troubles can bring us down. Jehovah can lift us and carry us through. We all can do the same and help each other as friends do. And you're my friend, 'cause you're always there through our ups and downs and through all we've shared. And I'm there when you need someone, when things are hard to bear. I'll be the friend you need. You can count on me. And you're my friend, 'cause you're always there through our ups and downs and through all we've shared. And I'm there when you need someone, when things are hard to bear. I'll be the friend you need. You can count on me.
Thank you sa 4 na milyon sa house, na nanatili sa house. 4 million in the house. Salamat po sa pagpapanatili po ninyo. Enjoy lang po tayo sa music.
Life is hard and it wears us down. There's not enough to go around. I close my eyes and there I see that every hope has come to be. Imagine the time when there's no more pain, when life's so good and we are young again. Imagine the time when we wake up and say, thank you for this new life and this brand new day. Not a sound has ever touched my ears, and eyes grow dim with passing years. But ears will hear when music plays, and eyes will see each brand new day. Imagine the time when there's no more pain, when life's so good and we are young again. Imagine the time when we wake up and say, thank you for this new life and this brand new day. I might not be the way I want to
Pause it.
running free. Imagine the
And
time
then
when there's
15 minutes na.
no more pain, when life's so good and we are young again. Imagine the time when we're dancing out the door. Every day is better than before. Imagine the time when there's no more pain, when life's so good and we are young again. Imagine the time when we wake up and say, thank you for this brand new day. Gave us a trust, a son to cherish and to train. Those years are past and gone so fast. Now we rejoice to see his choice, to know our work was not in vain. It's hard letting go, yet in my heart I know the safest place that he can be is in your loving hands for now and all eternity, and all the years to come. I know my heart will be at rest. I give to you what you deserve. I give to you my very best.
You gave us a girl, a gift to nurture and to love. Through all the years, through joy and tears, our precious one has now become the woman we are so proud of. It's hard letting go, yet in my heart I know the safest place that she can be is in your loving hands for now and all eternity, in all the years to come. I know my heart will be at rest. I give to you what you deserve. I give to you my very best.
In the quiet of the night, with a million stars above, when I think of you and of all you do, it fills my heart with love. If I give my life to you, you will always be my guide. As the days go by, you will see that I'm forever on your side. Because you gave me hope that changed my life, and strength to help me through. Because you gave your son to die for me, I give my life to you. I give my life to you.
As the sun lights up the sky, melting warm upon my skin, how your endless days and your tender ways stir these feelings deep within.
Because you gave me hope that changed my life, and strength to help me through. Because you gave your son to die for me, I give my life to you.
I give my life to you.
Because you gave me hope that changed my life, and strength to help me through. Because you gave your son to die for me, I give my life to you. I give my life to you.
The work of the kingdom in my lifetime and before provides me with your written word, the truth, and so much more. Your faithful slave, discreet and wise, provides increasing light and sends out men who shepherd me with loving oversight.
I know expectations at conventions will be met, and afterward I always say, now that's the best one yet. At weekly meetings I can feel your thoughtful loving care, and learn how best to preach and teach and have a fuller share.
We marvel at your word and what the kingdom's done so far. We cherish kingdom rule. We grow in faith to realize the kind of God you are. We look ahead to blessings that your kingdom soon will bring. You give us the honor to be workers on your side. A ministry that lets us show the love we feel inside. The depth of understanding and the peace of mind you give. They teach us what is pure and true. They show the way to live.
The songs that express what's in my heart so very well, and family worship evenings give your spirit room to dwell. Our unity, despite whatever language we might speak, proves that our loving brotherhood in this world is unique.
We marvel at your word and what the kingdom's done so far. We cherish kingdom rule. We grow in faith to realize the kind of God you are. We look ahead to blessings that your kingdom soon will bring.
Time check, 12:00 a.m. So we have now already 1 hour and 58 minutes streaming. So meron pa tayong 2 minuto para maglaro oras tayo. Huli natin to sa pagpapasalamat sa lahat ng pumunta dito sa ating live streaming. Salamatan natin si Batso Life. Tukayo nating positive outlook, si Creative, Inspired Music Channel, tapos sino pa yung naging bisita na? Sayana Park, tapos si Knowledge Power Vlog, ano pa yung isa, si Bora. Okay, maraming salamat. Salamat sa lahat. 2 hours, exactly our time. Bukas uli. Bukas ng hapon naman. Dos. Salamat.